2017, from NBC News. Why statues of George Washington and Thomas Jefferson aren't next, as President Trump suggested. Slippery slope argument, man. Trump is just trying to get people riled up. Orange Man just wants people upset. They're not going to get rid of Thomas Jefferson statues. Come on. 2021. Thomas Jefferson statue removed from City Hall after 187 years. What's next? They said this wasn't going to happen, but it did. So, NBC, you're going to follow up on this? CNN, all these places that reported this and called Trump a liar. Will you follow up on this? Because this is happening now, and history is being erased in this way. So, I'm Tyler Zed. Welcome to Zeducation. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to my channel, and welcome to another episode of That Didn't Age Well. If you are new to this series, here on this series, we highlight hypocritical and lying politicians, mainstream media, and celebrities and entertainers. And today we have a lot to go over. A lot more Joe Biden, some Demilovato, more YouTube things that didn't age well in their like situation, and a person from Canada who pulled an Elizabeth Warren. Can't make it up. And we're going to jump right into today's list of things that didn't age well. If you're ready for today's list, head down and like this video. And if you are new here, please make sure you are subscribed and have the bell clicked for notifications when new videos are uploaded. Now on to today's list of things that didn't age well. Number 10. For this one, we flash back to Demi Lovato and this all-time great thing that didn't age well. Here's an ad that Demi participated in with turkeys from the Farm Sanctuary. Turkeys are bred social animals who enjoy being pet. Just ask Demi Lovato. And there's Demi holding a turkey. Turkeys' lives matter, man. But then Demi Lovato posted this. I'm thankful for all of you with a turkey. Demi, the lack of self-awareness. Come on, what happened to you? Number 9. Real quick, we have to flash back to this video that didn't age well very fast. Look at this, YouTube rewind of 2018. You guys remember this? 221 million views, 19 million downvotes. Didn't age well right away. And maybe, I'm just speculating here, maybe this is part of the reason they're getting rid of the downvotes. Maybe, I don't know. Number 8. For this one, we go to Carrie Barossa of Canada, who was the Indigenous health expert for Canada. She claimed for years to be part of the Métis Nation up in Canada. But the problem is there was an investigation done, and she pulled an Elizabeth Warren. Far from being a member of the Métis Nation, as she had long claimed, a laborious trace of Barossa's family tree revealed that her supposedly indigenous ancestors were in fact immigrant farmers who hailed from Russia, Poland, and Czechoslovakia. Why does this keep happening? Rachel Dolezal, Elizabeth Warren, now this person. And the sad part is people like Elizabeth Warren, nothing happens. No one even cares that they faked their heritage, but so we'll see what happens with her. She'll probably keep her position just like Elizabeth Warren. Number 7. Flashback to the first travel restrictions under Trump when COVID started. And this is what Joe Biden had to say about those restrictions. A wall will not stop coronavirus. Banning all travel from Europe or any other part of the world will not stop it. And this is what Joe Biden just did. Breaking. U.S. to restrict travel from South Africa, 7 other countries Monday in response to Omicron variants. So, did you think it actually worked then, or were you just trying to do opposite of Trump? I don't know, but clearly you're not practicing what you were preaching back then. And we're going to get some more of your COVID hypocrisy here in a little bit. Number 6. Last week, somebody rammed an SUV into a parade in Wisconsin. It was a very horrific and tragic action by this person. And this is how it was reported on by the Washington Post.
Here's what we know so far on the sequence of events that led to the Waukesha tragedy caused by a SUV.
Caused by an SUV, not the person driving it. Just like guns are the ones shooting it, not the person pulling the trigger, right? Only when it fits their narrative, though. Thankfully, the backlash was so harsh on this tweet that the Washington Post had to retract it.
We've deleted a previous tweet for this story that included language that was changed after publish.
Caused by an SUV. The mainstream media, everyone, this is how they report on things. This is how they frame stories that are detrimental to their narratives. Number 5. For this one, I want to highlight some of the misinformation that was running rampant during the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Tweets like this blue check mark.
If you don't have your mommy drop you off at a volatile area with a high-powered weapon and run through the streets like Rambo, then you won't need to defend yourself from anyone.
So this was the common narrative, that he got dropped off by his mommy. And I actually had friends in my personal life that were spewing this and thinking this because they were misinformed. And even the fact checkers had to fact check this. Kyle Rittenhouse's mother drove him across state lines and dropped him off in the middle of a riot, armed with an assault rifle in Kenosha. False. That's how bad that information was. Even the fact checkers couldn't spin it. And sadly, there are people that still believe this out there because they were misinformed by places like CNN, because that's where this was first reported. Just turn off all mainstream news and you will be way better off. Number 4. More Joe Biden and some of the narratives that he tried to spin like this. My Build Back Better agenda costs $0. $0. $0. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable, right? And now it has come out that that isn't the case, and it's not going to be a net zero as they tried to spin it. CBO estimates that Biden's bill will add $367 billion to the deficit over a decade. So it doesn't cost $0, man. This whole administration, it's a train wreck. It's an absolute train wreck. Number 3. Guys, if you're not Fauci, if you're not the fact checkers, if you're not the CDC or Biden, you can't talk about COVID. You can't have an opinion. You can't share your personal experiences with it. All right, that's just a rule. Otherwise, you're going to get banned from the internet. And now, the Pfizer CEO is going as far as saying stuff like this. Pfizer CEO says people who spread misinformation on COVID vaccines are criminals. Alexa, who paid the largest criminal fine in United States history? Before we get to this fun fact from Alexa, let me first just say that anyone who purposely spreads misinformation about anything is a criminal, and it should be treated as such. And this happens all the time. Like we just went over misinformation that was spread by the mainstream media in a recent example. But I just want to point out the irony of this coming from the Pfizer CEO. That's what I want to do with this example here. The irony behind the Pfizer CEO calling people criminals for misinformation is this. From the New York Times, Pfizer pays $2.3 billion to settle marketing case. It was the largest healthcare fraud settlement and the largest criminal fine of any kind ever. This is the New York Times, so YouTube, you can censor or ban this video, but this is the New York Times reporting on this. Pfizer CEO calling people criminals for misinformation, and Pfizer was fined $2.3 billion for a fraud settlement, the largest criminal fine of any kind ever. A little bit ironic, a little bit hilarious and hypocritical of them. You have to admit it. I mean, it's right there. Number 2, obviously, you guys, COVID is still around. It's still a thing. It's probably going to be that way for the foreseeable future. I think we've all concluded that already. But this is how Joe Biden was campaigning in 2020. We're 8 months into this pandemic, and Donald Trump still doesn't have a plan to get this virus under control. I do. Flash forward. U.S. COVID deaths in 2021 passed toll for 2020. Joe, you said you had a plan. You said, I do. What's the plan? You clearly don't have a plan. What is it? You lied to people. Again, what's the plan? And while we're on this, here's a little video clip of you over the holiday weekend at a store. Everyone in the store, according to this video, is wearing a mask except for you. Even the sign on the door is requiring a face mask. Look at this. Here's a screenshot of it. Required face covering, and there's you not wearing that. How can you ask people to do things, mandate them to do things, when you don't even follow the rules yourself? That's a sign of horrible, terrible leadership. Nobody can deny that. Number 1. And on to number 1. More promises, more broken promises from the Biden White House. Biden White House pledges data transparency, respect for free press. Transparency. That was a promise. That's what he said to people. That's what he told Americans would happen if he got in the White House. But now that he's in there, this type of stuff is happening from writers. Wait, what? FDA wants 55 years to process Freedom of Information Act request over vaccine data. I'm kind of stupid, but that doesn't seem very transparent to me. 55 years? What do you think about today's list? What do you think about the hypocrisies? What do you think about all of these things coming from the White House, telling you what you have to do right now, telling you what your family has to do? Otherwise, you're fired when those rules don't apply to people in Washington, D.C., people like Joe Biden. What do you think about the transparency in Washington, D.C. right now? Let me know in the comments. While you're down there, please like this video. Please help me get it recommended to others. That's it for today's video. Until next time, I'm Tyler Zed, and this is Education.
For the children.
Idiots.